It's going to be a difficult next week and next few months as people vent, as people share. We have to have grace for the lost, guys. We have to have grace for those that do not know Jesus yet and understand they don't have any hope. They put their hope in the government. They put their hope in man-made institutions. They don't have Jesus like we have Jesus. So we have to show them the love of Christ and display the love of Christ. We have to have grace for those who do not know. And if the Lord is patient towards us and others, like it says in 2 Peter 3:9, He's not slow to fulfill his promises. Some count slowness, but he's patient towards you, towards me, not wishing that any should perish, but that all should reach repentance. This is the heart of our Father, guys. He doesn't want anybody to perish. And I know sometimes people can be really ugly. I know sometimes people can be mean. I know sometimes people can really hit you where it hurts. And it's so frustrating. And as I was writing this out, I was reminded of Luke chapter 9. You know, it's my prayer that in this season, God would reignite this fire, that he would give us a passion for the lost and to see that these people that are lashing out, they're hurting, man. Hurt people. They're hurting. They don't know what else to do other than lash out and scream and fuss and holler. Luke chapter 9, it reminds me, when the days drew near from him to be taken up, he set his face to go to Jerusalem, and he sent messengers ahead of him who went and entered the village of the Samaritans to make preparation for him. But the people did not receive him, talking about Jesus, because his face was set toward Jerusalem. And when his disciples, James and John, saw it, they said, "Lord, do you want us to tell fire to come down from heaven and consume them?" And Jesus turned and rebuked them, and they went on to another village. This is where they get the nickname Sons of Thunder. So he preaches the gospel. The people don't follow. The people don't believe. And James and John said, "Lord, do you want us to call fire down on their head?" And he says, "No, absolutely not." This fascinates me. John, that was so vigilant, that was so militant about the truth, so, wanting people to believe the gospel of Jesus Christ so badly. And he was standing up for the truth, but he did not have love in this moment, right? And he would go on to be called the disciple or the apostle of love, who would mention love more in his gospel than any other book in the Bible. He writes the epistles, he writes the Gospel of John, and he talks about loving others. In fact, he's the one that wrote these words right here. "By this, all people will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another." So the sons of thunder, one of the sons of thunder became the apostle of love. And I believe God is wanting to do this in the heart of his people in this time and in this season, that we would have compassion for the lost, that we would have compassion for the one that does not know Christ, that we would see that they're hurt, that we would see and know and remember the place where we came from. The one who has been forgiven of much loves much. So powerful. This is the point. Remember, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 13, "If we speak in the tongues of men and of angels but have not love, I'm just a noisy gong or clanging cymbal. If I have all prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but I have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver my body up to be burned, even martyred, I'll go down in flames for you, Jesus. But I have not love, I gain nothing." And then he tells us the characteristics of love. It's patient and it's kind. It does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It's not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing. This is what I'm talking about. Passivity is not the same as love. Loving someone and being passive, they don't go hand in hand. It gets called hate because we stand up for certain truths and stand up for certain things. But biblical love, God's love, because he is love, does not rejoice at wrongdoing. So when we see our family member or friend walking towards that cliff, and to stop them and tell them the truth and tell them about what Jesus Christ has done for them, that is true love. Love rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. It is time to get to work and share the gospel of Jesus Christ. In Matthew chapter 9, we read this, and Jesus went throughout all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every disease and every affliction. But when he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to the disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. And that is the point of this entire stream today, this entire message. This passage breaks my heart when I read it, but at the same time, I'm thankful for where we are because I see the mercy and grace of God extended to us in this time and in this hour for this very reason. This is why. It's not to build our kingdoms. It's not to build up our bank accounts. It's not so that we can gain a following and influence and all of these things I'm always going on about. This is the reason. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. This is the reason. He's patient towards us, not wishing that any should perish, but that all should reach repentance. This is the reason God is allowing us this time right now. It is time to get to work and go and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.